Daniel Carter arrived at the office every morning before anyone else. Not because he was trying to impress anyone, but because dropping Emma off at school by 7:30 meant he could be at his desk by 8, and leaving by 5:30 meant he could pick her up before the after-school program closed. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please stay with us and watch this story till the end. If there is any mistake or shortcoming in our story, please kindly forgive us and support us with your love, patience and encouragement. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories, and tell us in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Your support means everything to us. His life ran on a tight, careful schedule, the kind only single parents truly understand. He had been doing this for 3 years, ever since Sarah passed away quietly one autumn evening, leaving behind a 7-year-old girl with her mother's eyes and a father who promised himself he would never let her feel the absence too deeply. Daniel was not the kind of man who talked about his pain. He kept his grief folded neatly inside his chest, like a letter he never sent, and he showed up every single day because Emma needed him to. At Harrington and Associates, he was known as the reliable one, the senior analyst who never missed a deadline, never raised his voice, and always made fresh coffee for the break room without being asked. Most of his colleagues respected him. Few of them really knew him. Victoria Harrington, the CEO, knew him even less, or so she thought. Victoria had built her company from a 2-person startup into a firm of 300 employees through sheer discipline and an almost frightening level of focus. She was 38, sharp in every way a person could be sharp, and she had learned long ago that keeping a professional distance was the safest way to lead. People called her brilliant behind her back and intimidating to her face. She was used to both. On a Tuesday in late March, Daniel was standing near the coffee machine, talking quietly to his colleague, James. He did not know Victoria was walking down the hallway behind him, a folder of quarterly reports under her arm, moving silently in the way powerful people sometimes do. "She said yes," Daniel was saying, his voice low and a little surprised, like he still could not quite believe it. "Emma's teacher, Miss Reyes. I finally asked her and she said yes. We're going Saturday." James grinned. "About time, man. You deserve this." Victoria slowed her steps without meaning to. She was not the kind of woman who eavesdropped, but something about the quiet sincerity in Daniel's voice caught her off guard. She stepped into the break room for a glass of water, and before she had thought it through, she said it. "Is she prettier than me?" The words came out lighter than she intended, almost like a joke, but the moment they left her mouth, the air in the room changed. James went very still. Daniel turned slowly, and for the moment they left her mouth, the air in the room changed. James went very still. Daniel turned slowly, and for the first time in 3 years at that company, he looked directly at his CEO with something other than professional neutrality. There was no fear in his face. There was surprise and then something quieter, a kind of honest recognition. Victoria felt her own cheeks warm, which almost never happened. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "That was inappropriate. Forget I said it." But Daniel shook his head gently. "She's kind," he said simply. "She's kind to my daughter, and that matters more to me than anything else." Victoria did not respond. She took her water and walked back to her office, and she sat behind her glass desk for a long time thinking about that answer. Kind. She turned the word over like a coin in her hand. She could not remember the last time someone had said that word in her presence and meant it so completely. Over the following weeks, small things began to shift. Victoria started noticing the little details she had never paid attention to before. The drawing Emma had made that Daniel kept tucked in the corner of his monitor, a crayon portrait of a man and a little girl holding hands under a yellow sun. She noticed how he stayed calm when a project collapsed, how he helped the younger staff members without making them feel small. One Friday afternoon, she passed his desk and saw him on a quiet phone call. "I'll read you 2 chapters tonight, Bug, I promise." "Yes, even the dragon one." He did not see her standing there. She kept walking. The date with Miss Reyes did not turn into a second one. It was pleasant but quiet. And both of them understood by the end of the evening that friendship was the more honest word. Daniel drove home, checked on Emma sleeping in her room, and sat in the kitchen with a cup of tea, feeling strangely peaceful. The following Monday, Victoria stopped at his desk with a folder. "The Morrison account needs your analysis by Wednesday," she said. Then she paused. "How was your weekend?" It was the first time she had ever asked. Daniel looked up and he smiled, a real one, the kind that reached his eyes. "It was good," he said. "Emma and I made pancakes shaped like dinosaurs. She said mine looked like a potato." Victoria laughed. A real one, the kind that surprised her. And in that small, ordinary moment, in the middle of a busy Monday morning, something that had been locked for a very long time in both of them turned quietly, gently, like a key finding its lock after years of searching in the dark. It was not a grand beginning. It was better than that. It was a real one. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness True Stories, where every story reminds you that love, in its quietest form, is always worth waiting for.